He's with us, Daisy Thomas.
Hello, Daisy.
No, don't get up. It's fine. It's completely fine.
You've had a massive weekend.
I've had a big weekend.
Across 4 games this weekend.
3 or 4 games of footy again over the weekends. Had little Junior running around at home again, which is good fun. And
that's a big juggle.
It has been a big juggle, but it's good.
How's lockdown treating you?
I'm just sort of saying off air that it's weird that I'm almost getting accustomed to it.
Yeah, I know.
It's not I don't think that's obviously a great thing, but as humans, we're pretty good at adapting and just moving and making do with the best of it. So that's what I'm trying to do. And fingers crossed, after a weekend of going out and punching horses in faces and whatnot like we all did.
It won't be a super spreader
Yeah,
event.
hopefully we can come out in the next sort of 48 hours.
Lockdown, it does feel like now you're just having a quiet weekend.
Yeah,
It's sort of lost a bit of its meaning.
Yeah, it's certainly lost the gloss that it did have at the start when we're all doing Jenga and Zoom meetings. And there's 55 different group chats going.
Yeah.
Now,
Zooming and drinking with your mates.
Yeah,
all
now
that
if someone
stuff's
says,
gone.
do you want to have a Zoom chat, you just throw your phone.
I know.
That's triggering. Yeah. But it was interesting. I was listening that you couldn't get your 7 Plus going.
No, because I got the wrong sort of telly.
Yeah, see, that's weird because obviously at the start of the year we came in and announced that Shaw and I had a show that was exclusively on 7 Plus.
Is that right?
Yeah, so I just assumed that that's when you would have got the
7 Plus organised.
Yeah, and watched the shows and
I'm still working on that.
okay.
I've seen the show. It can't only be on 7 Plus.
Well, there's a few snippets on the Instagram.
But haven't I seen it on telly at halftime or something along those lines?
Yeah, but again, that's not 7 Plus.
And that's not the whole thing.
And that's not the whole thing. That doesn't count as a view.
There's a whole thing happening that I didn't know about.
Yeah, the show.
Right. How long is the show?
It goes for about 23 to 27 minutes.
Let's call it a commercial half hour.
Yeah, let's do that.
Gee willy winkers.
Yeah.
There's a bit more work in that than I thought.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the lack of intent just to give a crap about my career.
When you've been coming in here talking about it, I thought, God, Daisy's carrying on about little
saw a
2-minute bits at half time.
It takes him 5 hours to film that. What is wrong with this guy?
No wonder it's a whole day's work. I'm like, what are these blokes doing?
Oh, no.
I should be knocking this off in an hour.
Absolutely, yes.
Oh, right. I did not realise.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
What caught your eye just quickly before we come back and dig a little deeper?
Well, it was a good round of footy, wasn't it? Lots of big clashes. Your boys again, North Melbourne.
Did you tip them?
I didn't, no. I thought the Blues would have been too good because if the Blues had won that, they could have been a sneaky chance for finals still.
What about Teague now? People are saying that could be the sort of line in the sand.
Well, when there's a review going on and your job's in question, full stop, you need everything to go right.
God, it must be an awful place to work with a review going on in the background while you're losing against North. That's a tough Monday, I would have thought.
Correct. Any work environment when there's a review going on, and I'm sure we've all been in them, everyone's just a little bit tighter and tenser, aren't they? And no doubt, looking at the way they played on the weekend, that being the Blues, no doubt that's having an effect.
How are they playing, though? I haven't seen any of their footy,
There's a
really.
real lack of freedom.
Right.
And to an extent, you can't coach that. You can encourage the players to play with freedom, but unless they have sound body and mind to go out and complete that task, it doesn't happen. And North Melbourne at the minute, they're the complete opposite end of the spectrum. They're just going out and just, let's play footy. If we bugger it up, we bugger it up. But if we don't,
come good.
They've come really good, which is it's good for footy, really. And now that not only is the race for the 8 heating up, there's 4 or 5 teams who can still play finals.
We can't, North.
No,
mathematically, I just did the sums on it. It's actually over for us.
There's 4. So if you win 8 of your next 4,
we'll get it.
Which would be good. Which would be 3.5 wins more than you have at this point after.
Yeah, it sure would be.
But the race for the wooden spoon's also starting to tighten up. North Melbourne had it absolutely sewn up at the halfway mark, but now Hawthorn have sort of fallen into calculations as well.
Classic Hawthorn, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
To beat us to the wooden spoon.
Well, yeah. So the North Melbourne, I think, play Adelaide in the last round of the year.
Yeah.
And the Tigers out of the last 4 games, which are probably their only 2 winnable options, all things equal. I know that there's been a few upsets.
While we're talking about Hawthorn, very emotional Alistair Clarkson through the week.
You know, I love that sort of stuff.
So do I. You don't see enough of it in footy.
I think far too often we forget that there's the human element to football. And we all sit here, and me being in the media now as well, being a part of conversations where you sit there and you just have your opinion on coaches. You know, will he stay? Which is essentially questioning his integrity as a bloke and what he stands for. And after everything you do in the game, people are still just happy to shoot you down, shoot from the hip, run with whatever. So there's no real integrity or warrant or merit to some of the conversations and opinions that are had.
No.
And there's no doubt that filters back to him. You hear all the stuff. If there's enough noise around you, you hear the stuff. And
what was so lovely, I thought, was that what tipped him was when he started to talk about his partner.
Yeah, well, that's what sort of gets everyone, isn't it?
When you really get close to home and you're talking about your kids or your partner, that's usually when blokes unravel.
And the fact that you have to almost come out and front the media and draw a correlation between football and then life and loss in the terms of speaking of death with family members, I think is not great that he was forced to almost be in that position in the first place, because football is one part of your life, yes, and it's a great part. We all love it. But there's much, much more going on in the world and in life than just football. We need to make that very clear that there's a person behind Alistair Clarkson who is a great man of great integrity.
Yeah.
Obviously had a lot go on in his life that he hasn't shared publicly before.
Yeah.
So just every now and then it's probably a good reminder just to pump the brakes and put it all in perspective.
Beautifully said.
Sting me away for some winners, please.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you want that as well?
Yeah, come on.
Here it is.
Here we go.
Winning. A win here and a win there. And losers.
We don't do the
We
losers.
don't do the losers anymore.
Unless you want to.
Oh, we can if you want.
You do what you want.
Do some losers.
We were just talking off air about the
Look at
Australia v
Bible
Ireland.
boy just popping up in the corner on a laptop.
Yeah, he's in IC.
Like that remote learning they do in Japan when the student comes in on the iPad.
We were talking off air about the international series. Who was it? Was it Johnson who absolutely
Chris
nearly
Johnson.
killed one of those
Yeah.
Irish blokes?
The Johnson brothers and the Scott brothers, I think. Was it the Scott brothers as well?
Scott Brothers. There's only one Johnson, Chrissy. It
Is
was
there?
about
Chris
04.
Johnson.
I remember it was at the Telstra Dome.
He nearly killed that Irish
Well, maybe
bloke.
they were the Bash brothers then from Johnson from the Lions, and the Scott boys as well went absolutely bunter,
Yeah.
and almost the series didn't go ahead. I played a couple of years after that, and the riot act we were read in terms of if any fight was to start, you do not do anything.
Yeah, because it was getting a bit ridiculous.
Well, it was, but I think the Irish boys understood that that's the predicament we were in. So
Yeah.
there was a fair bit of
So they carried on a bit
little
too.
bit of shenanigans going on with us, some studs to the shins and
Oh,
trying a little bit of light a little.
leprechaun
Yes.
The plucky little Irish. It was a bit like watching the twos run out, though, wasn't it? Because they were about 62 kilos, wringing wet, those blokes.
They are fast. And I tell you what, they kick that round ball like nothing. It's hard to do, kick a round ball straight.
Yeah.
And they're very, very good at it.
Oh, they were amazing at it.
Yes. Anyway, not the point of this story. Winners and losers.
Winners or losers? What do you got, Daisy?
Well, I don't really know because, as you pointed out, I wrote it down in highlighter today. Which,
what did you like?
has anyone
Melbourne
got
Bulldogs?
a UV light?
Yeah. You know, it's like you've written in invisible ink.
Well, I'm just concerned you're stealing my notes. So the Dogs and the D's, that was the big one, the top of the table clash. And the Dogs, how good were they?
Yes.
Unbelievable getting the job done. And I love the fact, so my first winner is the Dogs, but also Luke Beveridge.
Yes.
The coach. Really good coaching performance. Went in with 4 tools. We know how good Melbourne's defence are. Lever, May, Petty stepping in now. So he went with the 4 big boys. And they were accountable for one of them each, essentially. They separated them so they couldn't get their intercept game going. And then, which was a masterstroke, but then Alex Keith, who's a defender for the Dogs, he went down early. So one of those big forwards then went back, took his spot in Shaki, and he played an unbelievable game. So they were really, really good. And look,
what did you think of Melbourne?
I'm certainly not alarmed yet. They gave the Doggies a bit of a touch-up earlier on in the year. So I think you go and review what you've done wrong there. I don't think they're playing their best football at the moment. I think they're having a little bit of a lull, but 4 weeks to go. I'm sure they'll start to tighten the screws a bit.
They'll finish top 4, surely.
It's a bloody long year to be up and about.
Yeah.
So,
when, as a player, when is the part of the year where you're just like,
this
Jesus,
is it.
this is it,
Yeah,
is it?
well, again, like humans, just general folk who go to work, middle of July,
Sucks.
cold,
Awful.
crap, 8
Training.
degrees,
Yeah.
sun up from
Let's
7,
go down
sun
the
down
bay.
to 5. Yeah, correct. You've lost a couple in a row and they decide to spring a sea bath session on you and you get to go for a swim around the pole. It's brilliant. You find your nuts in about a month. The second winner was the Giants.
Yes.
Found themselves inside the 8, and that is exciting because they're inside the 8. They're 2 points clear, but there is Essendon, Fremantle, Richmond, and St Kilda still all in the chasing pack, only a game out.
It'd be nice if St Kilda could creep into the 8, wouldn't it?
Oh, well, it would be.
Be good for the club.
It would be. And they've had an 111-point loss this season, an 80-point loss, and a 70-point loss. So very rarely do you find a team that's had that sort of up and down form line, get it right and turn it around. So,
their percentage would be pretty awful.
yeah.
86.9. You rarely see a team in the 80s still in finals contention this late, do you?
If you say so.
It's good. It was a good stat.
Yeah,
Will.
I'm not the numbers guy, Will. I'm the field guy. I'm the footballer.
Yeah.
You can crunch the numbers in
I
there.
loved your beverage stuff, actually. That's the sort of stuff that your average punter kind of is aware of, but, you don't
Just
really.
can't quite put the finger on it.
Yeah, it's like, what's going on here?
Well, that's what I'm here for. And in that game, the biggest winner of the week, I'm not sure if you saw this little kid, young man, Cody Waitman.
No.
Blonde hair, looks a little bit like a young D. Thomas, and took an absolute hanger
Screamer.
on Maxi Gawn on the wing, like almost a la Warwick Kappa.
Well, if you get up onto Maxi, you're halfway there.
Well, and he got up, and Max because he sort of felt something on him that wasn't as big as him, almost shrugged him, which made the mark look so much better because he ended up parallel to the
Horizontal.
ground. Yeah, whichever one you want to go. Parallel lines.
Both
horizontal.
work. Both work.
Daisy, controversial. I reckon Isaac Heaney's mark was better over the weekend.
Oh,
Go
Daisy, shut the laptop.
Yes. Okay.
I'm not listening to any of that
It's
from
actually
Will.
Tune in tomorrow for Will's winners.
You've crossed the line, Will. We've talked to you about that. I haven't seen either of them
broke
because I just made it Olympics this weekend.
Yeah,
I just went out, nuts out, Olympics.
That's an interesting way to watch it. Was it good? I haven't seen a whole lot of it. I saw a little bit of the surfing.
The swimming was good.
I saw the highlights of the swimming, which was fantastic.
Jess Fox
the
was
girls winning the
relay.
yes.
Jess Fox in the canoeing.
The slalom canoe. I saw that.
And
Yeah,
the kayak.
yeah.
What else did I like over the weekend?
I'll tell you what's
The
important.
water polo, the Aussie water polo
Now
boys.
that's a dirty sport,
isn't it?
Yeah.
They're always pulling them down.
The gymnastics is phenomenal, though.
Unbelievable.
As a bloke who can barely walk in a straight line, watching them do flips onto that little bar or
Unbelievable.
beam, absolutely incredible. So it's a nice reminder just to us common folk, just how common we are now and how much these people are genuine overachievers.
And they're kids, those gymnasts.
Yeah.
Like if most of them are like under 18, aren't they, Loz?
I don't think your mic's not on there.
Jesus, you
Hey,
almost
Will,
got,
can you come back in? This is
you almost got to talk when Daisy's here.
Hang on, do you want me to
No,
run,
it's
do you want me to
still
run
off,
this
though.
one over?
No.
Come up here. We haven't got you plugged in because Will's at home.
Oh, yeah. Come
So
on.
his microphone
Because
is
Loz
low.
is our gymnastics
Yeah,
expert.
jump
She
on
used to
on
coach
there.
gymnastics.
Well, unless I see a full half double
There you go.
backflip
There is
pike,
a
I'll-
46-year-old gymnast at this Olympics.
Are you joking?
I'm not joking.
Oh,
It's her 8th Olympics.
And what
Wow.
is her specialty? Cleaning out the change rooms?
supervisor.
I don't know.
What country is she from?
She is.
How old is she? 46.
Her name's Oksana Chustavina.
Oh,
That
went
sounds
to school
nice.
with her.
So-
Oksana.
How
She's still
old
going.
did you say she is? 46.
46.
And she's been to 8 Olympics.
wow.
So does that mean
4
she
8 to
started
32.
Yeah, she started when she was 14.
14.
She's from Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan. It's
Yeah.
a no from
So
me.
it's probably safe to say the talent pool there of young gymnasts isn't great.
46-year-olds
we're
making
reading
the
into
team.
this?
I'd say there's actually nobody else doing gymnastics.
Thank you, Daisy Thomas.
Thanks very much for having me. Have a great week, guys.
Chat to you next week.
The Marty Sheargold Show. Triple M.